All right, we're live with Stage 8 Tour de France and the DramaCast coverage. I'm here, Grant Gardner, here with Robert Peretti.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good
We,
morning, everyone.
Good morning. We're going today from Dole to Lausanne in Switzerland. We actually just crossed the border a little while ago. Riders are coming back on after a few roadside breaks. Things are pretty light right now. We've got a breakaway of 3 riders. Matteo Catania, Frederick Frisson, and Alfred Wright. Those folks got away pretty easily after a crash earlier in the stage that limited the size of this break. Right now, we're pacing through the valley and we're headed to Col de Petrofelix.
Petrofelix.
Any thoughts on that climb, Robert?
Hey, it's a solid climb. It's a climb that I can conquer pretty easily. So if that tells you anything, that is the last of the categorized climbs, and then you got the uphill finish. More on that later. But just appreciate y'all joining us today. The few people I see 3. No, someone just dropped. Someone just dropped out of the live feed. But if you're on here, thanks for joining. Grant and I have been talking about this forever. Yes, if you can't hear us, if we're too loud or too low, just let us know. You can just you can text me or text me on Slack about that. But we've been wanting to do this for quite a while. Great day so far. We're heading right into Switzerland from Dole. Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Dole. It was Dole.
Dole.
Yeah. So Dole, France to Switzerland. They are in the Jura Mountains, headed to Lake Geneva, and I'm just going to say Lausanne because we're American. So, pretty good day so far. A rundown of what happened yesterday and where we are today. Yesterday was La Planche del Belfi. Was the folklore has it that the maiden leaped to her death there?
Lover's leap? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'm dead wrong, but you can. Dave Parker would probably know.
Yes.
Maybe I'm getting confused with another climb. But anyways, we have Pogačar in yellow, green jersey. We have Wout van Aert, who's been sort of at the pack so far today. We have Magnus Cort in the KOM with Pogačar only 1 point behind Cort in that jersey. Is that right?
Yep. And looking at today's stage, there was not a lot of KOM points on offer. We've already crossed over the Marchette and De Roos. Those were a Cat 4 and a Cat 3 climb. And that was only a total of 4 points on offer. So, and those all went to the breakaway. So we're not going to see anyone from the bunch get those points. Pogačar's not going to get those points. But depending on where he finishes on the stage finale today, let's see, there's going to be 2 points for first place on offer and then 1 point for second place. So if Pogačar finishes first or second, he can either tie or take the KOM jersey. And then as far as the green jersey, there will be 30 points for first place, 25 for second, 22 for third place, and that goes all the way down to 2 points in 15th place. But Wout van Aert is in a pretty good spot with that jersey. So
a few minutes ago, he was at 214 points with that sprint he had. Jacobsen is at 149. So Jacobsen has a lot to do in this finale that he probably will not be there. If I remember correctly, the last ramp is 1.8K and 12% average. So hardly Jacobsen territory.
And I mean, even if he does get maximum points, he will not take the jersey away from Wout van Aert, because he'll be at potentially 100 and let's see, 70, 100,
Yep.
160 points. And yeah, Wout is ahead of him by 63 points. So Wout van Aert will keep the green jersey today, but really we're interested in the stage finish. And who's going to win this stage? It is a punchy little climb into the Stade Olympique. So Lausanne, where we're finishing the stage today in Switzerland, is where the headquarters of the Olympics are. And so they're going to finish around the Olympic Stadium. It will be a punchy little climb. The climb is 4.9 kilometers with an average of 4.5%. Max is out at some gradients towards the finish with, a kilometer, half kilometer here of 8.3%. And then it'll be kind of a softer finish with about 3.2% average towards the finish of the climb. So should be an uphill sprint.
Maybe my intel was a little wrong on that. It's a little flatter, but
yeah.
Yep.
So I mean,
it's technical too.
It's uphill, but it's not going to be like yesterday, 20% climbs. It'll be for fast finishers. Maybe Michael Matthews could make it happen today.
Yeah. So a few people ring to me for today's finish. A lot of people are saying Pog again, and why not say him? He seems to not. He seems to be a little stingy with his wins, and if he can win, then why not? That's gotten on my nerves before, but I've become a bigger fan of him. Then Wout van Aert, he's in the back of the pack, please. He's in the back of the pack today, right now, but who knows? He might be saving his legs. He's not even near the front where the rest of his team is. We got Wout, Matthews, Pog, some other ones that ring to mind. Van der Poel, if his legs are feeling okay. They have not been feeling okay lately. Pidcock, he's looking great. He's having a fantastic tour. I would never have thought.
Yeah, he's riding really well. I mean,
he's
of course we're getting those
9th, 8th.
Yeah, Ineos has 3 or 4 riders in the top 10 right now. They've got
he's 7th. Pidcock is 7th right now.
So they've got Geraint Thomas in 3rd. He's 110 back. Adam Yates is 118 back. Then we've got Pidcock in 7th. He's 135 back. And then Danny Martinez is in 10th place. He's 155 back. So, Ineos was looking a little weak compared to previous years coming into this tour. No Bernal, no Carapaz. Martinez didn't look great at Tour de Suisse. Thomas looked good, but then once again, we had a lot of riders drop out of that race with COVID. So it was a little bit of an asterisk next to that win for Geraint Thomas. But really, Ineos is looking good. They've got 4 riders in the top 10 here. And with Roglic's troubles and Pogacar's dominance, maybe Ineos can have a multi-pronged attack going later into this race.
Yeah. And if you're just joining us for the tour, or just tour watching in general, usually someone like Pog, a favorite, doesn't like to take the yellow jersey so early in the 3-week race. Historically speaking, if you take yellow in the first week, it's hard to defend that the entire rest of the 2 weeks left. They're doing 2,000 miles or Ks for the whole time, and that's a lot of pressure on there. We see they're up at the front right now, right behind the Bike Exchange and JV Rider here. Probably the best position for Pog if he's going to win today. So then we got rest of Bike Exchange Wout has made his way up right behind his own men, so he's back at the pack. Matthews is likely right behind Wout, and then you got Ineos and FDG. So
and Ineos with those yellow helmets, they're leading the team's classification. That's why they're wearing those. So we are approaching the Petra Felix, that last climb before the long, steady descent into Lausanne. Right now, we've got Matteo Cattaneo out front with Fred Wright. Frisson has been distanced from that three-man breakaway. Those could be the legs, or that could be him dropping back. Maybe he's been instructed to come help Caleb Ewan stay in this race. So
Ewan's another rider. He is a sprinter, but as we've seen in Milan San Remo, he does have those punchy legs. He's been doing a lot of, altitude training.
Yeah, he's been training with Craig Stilley in Nice.
Yes. They went on a holiday together a few weeks ago. Or no, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So word on the street is that Craig Stilley is still has jet lag. He's been sort of struggling out on the road.
But, so let's see. We've got comments coming in here from Kev.
What's he saying?
Kev said, which also Hayes wanted us to turn on the live chat on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
So Berto doesn't know how to do that. So just use Slack. Hayes actually chatted us on Slack telling us to turn on the chat on YouTube, which was a little redundant. But also, I think maybe if you don't have YouTube Premium, when you leave the app, you lose the audio. So we understand your pain, Hayes, but we're probably not going to accommodate you. So
yes.
Kev says, give us your top 3 picks for the stage win today. So what are your thoughts there, Robert?
I can't help but pick Pog again. And then I'll say Matthews. And only Matthews because, as we saw yesterday, Super Planche, it was 24% at the top. Pog's got that over Matthews, but I would give Matthews sort of in the same realm as Pog since it's a little less steep.
Yeah.
From there, maybe let's pick a dark horse pick here.
These are your picks. They're not my picks.
I said dark horse. Like my picks. my guy. I got a few people listed here. Maybe Roglic.
Yeah, if he's feeling it. This traditionally when Roglic is healthy, this is right up his alley. So we'll see what happens. I like Michael Matthews. I like Pogačar. If somebody else gets into the 4 here, what if Tom Pidcock decides he wants to try to win a stage today? And get some bonus points. He can move up.
Yeah,
there in the top 10.
Just put some barriers in front of him in the finish, and he's going to finish first.
Maybe add some mud to the end there.
Baker says push. He doesn't like our picks.
Okay, well, Baker, let us know in the comments who you think will win today.
Yeah, let's hear it, Brian. Let's hear it.
Baker probably likes Chris Froome for this one.
He's a big fan of Chris Froome.
Yeah.
Are Chris Froome's legs coming back?
No.
Are they back in the peloton or are they back home?
Chris Froome most recently in this race at 59 kilometers to go was going back to the team car, probably to get bottles for fuel song. So,
yes.
Yeah, I don't think we're riding for Chris Froome in this tour.
Froome, Baker says Froome will be top 20.
Okay.
Top 120.
Okay. Yeah. So, I can live with top 120, honestly. Let's talk about folks that have fallen out of this race. So Mark Hershey has looked really bad. I just think he's just not in good form right now, maybe come back from some sickness, but he finished second to last place yesterday. So he's not looking good. And then his teammate, Stake Langen, DNS'd with COVID this morning.
Yes, we've had a couple
Yeah.
Him and let's see here. The UAE. Did you say UAE?
Yeah.
Bouchard, AG2R rider, was the other.
Yes, Bouchard, which Bouchard has won the KOM competition at the Vuelta and the Giro, but this is his first Tour de France.
We're hitting the Felix.
Yep.
Say 2.4K climb. So this is where we started. This is where they're gonna crest this climb and then head down into the valley of Luzon. Is that how you say it?
Lausanne. Yeah.
Lausanne. So right besides Lake Geneva, beautiful spot. The break came down to 1 minute. Now it's back up 2+ minutes. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but they'll have a gentle descent once they crest this down into the valley. I'll get into this in my geology lesson here in a minute, but what they're doing is they're skirting off their right shoulder is some switchbacks that go pretty steep downhill, dangerous switchbacks, as we see a mountain bike rider on the left. We're watching a GCN feed, by the way. They're skirting around those dangerous switchbacks and going down to a gentler valley road. Walt has a question. If Wout wins today, will he get the jersey back? No. He's too far back, Walt. Much too far.
That's a great question, though. I appreciate the youth's interest
Yes.
in the race,
Wout Peretti.
Yes. Wout van Aert. So, no, Wout van Aert will no longer contest for yellow. Really, this is in between Pogačar and Vingegaard, really, for the rest of this race, is what it looks like. Unless we have a little bit of drama. I mean, if we're looking at the Ineos riders, we got Geraint Thomas and Adam Yates that are a little over a minute back. And really, they would have to get into a breakaway or distance Pogačar on a climb, which is kind of hard to fathom. So,
yes, correct.
So really, this break, we've got Catania and Fred Wright out front, and they're likely going to get brought back with 50 kilometers to go here. But I mean, that gap is staying out on this climb at 2 minutes. So
a general rule on the break is it takes 10 kilometers for every minute. So they're well within that. If they're still at 2 minutes out at 20K, then there's a definite chance
they catch them
of
at the line
finishing, because the peloton will just cat and mouse each other, and the breakaway will stay up the road. So that's a general rule out there. I forgot the fella who coined that. Right there, as we see the mountain biker again,
still shredding.
Matthew Vanderpool wishes that was him, probably.
So yeah, Vanderpool has not had a great Tour de France.
Yeah, he went so hard at the Giro, and now he's just tired. What was that stage that he went so hard in the mountains?
Yeah, I can't remember the precise stage, but he was in a breakaway with Santiago Buitrago. Who
EF rider.
No, not EF. He rides for Bahrain.
Oh yes. I get him confused with Guerrero.
Yeah, but talented young Colombian rider who's a mountain climber, and Vanderpool's not. I mean, he can climb steep climbs, but he's not going to be contending in the high mountains. So he was really reaching for straws in some of those stages. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
But he's paying for it now. I mean, think about it. Let's say Wout van Aert continues to do what he's doing in this tour and then decides to go ride the Vuelta. I mean, he's going to be tired. It's just the nature of it.
Yeah. We did just see Wout on the radio. All the riders have radios kind of like in their front chest area, then they have a transponder on their back. that goes back to their team car. From what I remember, they have a couple of team cars. They'll have a team car up front and then one further back. If Wout was or someone was to break away, the commissaries in that red car would, maybe let the JV car up the road. But there's, they're all together obviously now. So if you're just joining us, thank you for tuning in. This is stage 8 of the Tour de France. We're going to Lausanne, from Dole, France, crossing into Switzerland. There was a big crash right off the gun, 174K out, that took down a lot of GC guys. Maybe Grant was still sleeping, but we had Quintana, Matthews, Geraint, Pog. Pog went down very softly.
Yes.
Then you had Sagan back there too. Bardet changed shoes. So perhaps they weren't crisp enough.
Yeah.
So he changed. That was all 10K from the start. Bouchard, AG2R, and Lengen of UAE, DNS for COVID. Let's see. We already went through the jersey rundown. Obviously, Pog's in yellow. You got points jersey for Wout. If you're watching, they're sort of, right next to each other on the road right now.
Oop, we've got a little crash here is that Thibaut Pinot?
Pinot.
Thibaut Pinot is down. Those in the Avec Pinot camp.
And then we have not sure, that's not a staff member of Total Energy.
No, that is a fan. But
a lucky fan just to be able to touch Pinot.
Yes, Thibaut Pinot, touch of wheels there in the bunch, and he is down on an uphill section, which is rare to crash uphill.
Yeah,
but
it must have just been a overlap of wheels.
Yeah,
so that can happen. We have Cantaneo and Fred Wright in the break at 2 minutes 7 right now. They're about to crest the top of the Petra Felix, and go down to Lausanne in the valley next to the lake. So that's been going on.
Pinot looks to be in pain.
Oh dear, oh dear. What do we have here? He's trying to grab a Musette.
He gets hit in the face by the Trek Soignier. Wow. This man has terrible.
That is after he went down.
Yes. So
the fan is hugging him, consoling him on the road. This is awful.
Yeah. This is.
He's back on his bike, being pushed by another person.
This looks like an actual Groupama mechanic. But yeah, Pinot just doesn't have great luck. Wow.
Yes.
We'll get another look at the picture here. This is Jumbo Visma pressing on at the front.
On the radio.
Yeah, so everybody has crested the climb here, and we should all be on the descent. We've still got the breakaway with a 2-minute gap. So we're going to go through this long descent here. Bike exchange is working, likely for Matthews to bring in this break.
Is that Joel Jensen still?
Looks like it.
He's been up there the whole day.
Yep. Pinot is still chasing back on. I would like to think he can get back on here, but he likely will. But his confidence is going to be pretty shot at this point. And hopefully he can descend confidently here. But after crashing and then getting hit in the face by the Trek Segafredo Soignier, he's probably going to be pretty ginger going down this climb.
That's right. And he is, yes, the breakaway obviously is descending, and Pinot is trying to get to the top of the climb, so he's pretty far back.
Which coming into this race, Thibaut Pinot said that he would be going for stage wins and KOM points. He has yet to accrue any KOM points. But really, we haven't hit any large climbs or. He's the type of rider that really wants to go for those big trophies, like when he won on the Tourmalet a few years ago.
Correct.
So, looking forward at some other stages we have upcoming. I mean, he could try to go for it tomorrow. I think he'll definitely be in action on stage 11 and stage 12 with the Col de Grenon and Alpe d'Huez. I mean, those are types of climbs that he's just got circled on his calendar. I would also look out for Nairo Quintana on those days. He's the type of rider that may not ride super consistently these days. He's not necessarily a GC contender, but he'll definitely send it on those big days like Alpe d'Huez.
That's right. And I think he's a pretty big fan favorite. Not many people do not like him. But there's always someone out there. But, I think the general consensus is that we want to see him do well. And not anywhere close to the KOM jersey, but we'll see what he does later in the week, like you said.
Yeah.
So they're cresting downhill. It's not really a technical descent. So the brake really needs to work pretty close together here. I think the Peloton we'll try to make some ground up right here, but we'll see. The gap is still growing up to 236.
So I think actually that is the folks that are in arrears of the Peloton. So Pinot and some other folks.
That's
right. 158. So stabilized there around 2 minutes on that descent. It looks like we've got Hunter Cole, local influencer, in the comments. Hunter, do you have any thoughts as you're viewing this stage? I know you're checking in between World Games events, but
he is enamored with the World Games.
But if you have any thoughts on the Tour de France, the other big worldwide sporting event going on right now, let us know. Man, they're hitting up 94 kilometers an hour there on the descent.
Yeah, they're going to they're making up a few seconds here and there. The break is certainly not going to get away. The race is officially on, I would say now.
Yeah. And
anytime you see people string out like that, it's a general, if you're new to bike racing, if they're strung out in a long line, that means the pace is high. When they're all grouped across the road, kind of like Old Leeds, how we take up the whole Old Leeds road, that means the pace is sort of slow.
Yeah.
So crashes can happen like that. Rarely do you see crashes happen in a long line like this, unless you're, literally going off the road.
Yeah.
Which sometimes happens.
Which really, we've got a little bit of a gap at the front there with the Bike Exchange rider.
And Pinot is fighting back.
Unfortunately, I think he had that second crash as things were heating up at the top of the crest of the climb. So, these two riders at the front, they're going to be a little more nimble in the corners and have a little more speed potentially because they're not having to worry about lots of folks around them and being safer. They can really ride their own ride here. So they shouldn't lose too much time on that descent, even though there is more horsepower in the Peloton. We're going through another little town village here on the descent. And
it's really sort of like not a lumpy stage. It's pretty flat considering there's always a day for the break, especially because of the group of GC team riders are all together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams represented, so they weren't gonna, try.
Yeah. In that same vein, Kev wants to know, does this break have a chance? So initially looking at this stage, just looking at the profile, I would say this is a breakaway day. Unfortunately, that crash that happened after 10 kilometers limited folks getting in the breakaway. I mean, if we had a 15-man breakaway, then I would say, yes, this would get all the way to the line. But we've only got two riders. I mean, Catania is a strong time trialist, so he could stay away on his own. even if he drops Fred Wright and they don't work together. But ultimately, no, I do not think this breakaway will survive. And like you were saying earlier, Robert, I mean, Pogača, traditionally, you don't want to take yellow too early, because you don't want that weight on your shoulders. You don't want the extra press interviews after the stage. There's just a lot more pressure holding yellow for 3 weeks. But clearly that does not bother Pogača. And clearly it does not bother him to go for the stage win every day.
No, he tears up the script. I mean, 10 years ago or less with the SkyTrain, Froome would barely win a stage, but yet he would win the overall. But Pog, he's so good that he can do that day in, day out. I did save a screenshot from last night. Just to give you a comparison of the Peloton in 2019 on La Planche and now, yesterday, Bardet yesterday did that climb in 20 minutes, 1 second. And where is he on the other side? Oh, shoot, that's not a good comparison. But Geraint did it in 20 minutes and 2 seconds in 2019. Yesterday, he did it in 19 minutes, 54. And that wasn't good enough. Pogačar did it in 19 minutes, 40. Roglic did it in 19 minutes, 52 seconds. So the level is getting raised every single year.
Yep.
And Pogača is responsible for that, for setting the tone on the Peloton. Outside of the Tour de France, they're training for Pac.
Yep.
And the quote off season to try to make some inroads on him.
Mm-hmm. And we just passed through the little town of Mont-la-Ville. I'm gonna steal your role here as geologist, but there actually is a heritage site of national significance here in this little town.
What is that?
The rock shelter of Moulin-Drous, prehistoric site.
Of what?
It's prehistoric. I mean, people have lived in this valley for hundreds of thousands of years, Robert.
That's right. That's right. Millions of years.
Potentially. I mean, depending on what your views of the Old Testament, but I mean,
yes, that's right. That's right.
So I don't know if folks are watching on GCN, but we have a preview of the stage finishes that they're showing us on the screen, and looks a little punchy, like we predicted, and but the actual finish line straight is relatively flat, so it should be a fast uphill sprint.
It's a false flat finish. As we can see, Contal Doodle Do, shout out to Mary Elizabeth. Phil Liggett 10 years ago said Contal Doodle Do in the live commentary, and it's
stuck for the
part
name
of history forever.
Albert.
Speaking of prehistoric times. So I'm gonna say a little bit about the Jura Mountains that we're leaving right now. Geology. Okay?
Yeah, so we're in the Jura region, Jura.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so we're exiting the Vosges region yesterday? Vosges region. They had ancient volcanoes, and now we're going to the youngest mountain chain, okay, of France. Lush vegetation, limestone deposits everywhere. It was at the bottom of a sea a good while ago, just like Central Alabama. Okay,
yes, very similar region.
Very similar region. You can see these cliffs that not right now, but you could see a few minutes ago. A lot of limestone. I saw limestone quarry before I left my house to come over here to the English Village where Grant is. But yeah, that's where a lot of limestone. Of course, it dates back to the Jurassic period, 201 to 145 million years ago. So this is what happened, okay? This is why the Jura Mountains came to be. The Alps formed because Europe dove below the African plate, okay?
Wow.
You following me?
You might want to speed this up.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
All right, process. In that process, the piles formed, Jura formed last, okay? And they're disconnected due to the valley that we're in right now. And the crux of why that happened was that gypsum layer was harder than around the Jura. So this is beautiful valley. It kind of reminds me of Strada Bianchi. Look at that.
Yeah, those wheat fields. Beautiful. And we're watching the breakaway here, but it looked like in arrears of the peloton was still Thibaut Pinot and Michal Morcu, the lead out man for Quick Step Alpha Vinyl. So there's Pinot and Morcu there.
They're getting back, it looks like.
Yeah, they're in the cars. They've passed the commissaire car, so that should be the front of the barrage. They made contact. So good to
right
see.
at the bottom of that climb too. 34 Ks left. Guys, I'm also listening to Race Radio. So if you're not familiar with that, it is offered on the Tour de France app. I usually go to the website for ease of listening to it, but Race Radio, okay, or Radio Tour is Seb PK is his name. He's been doing it for years. He's responsible for giving updates to the not caravan, but the caravan is like the party before the tour passes a particular point in the race. Yep. Then you got the peloton, then you got the team cars. He's responsible for giving news to all the team cars, photographers, video folks that's going on. So when you're listening to Liggett or Carlton Kirby, Rob McEwen, those people have people that listen to Radio Tour, so they'll hear news of what's going on in the peloton before they say it. So they're not necessarily, all the commentators elsewhere aren't seeing absolutely everything as we see the helicopter.
Getting low.
I hope Jared Gruber has
some
shots right there in that wheat field. But yeah, he doesn't use his hands to radio. He uses pedals by his feet, obviously, to radio everyone. It's really cool. I listen to it while I'm in the car because I feel like I'm a DS or something. But also, it's probably not safe to watch the tour in your car. So that's what I do. As we go back to Eric Decker winning in 2000. That dude was a sprinter breakaway guy way back.
Yeah, so that is the finish in Lausanne from 2000. So Eric Decker won.
Rabobank team. That's right.
So
obviously Lance would have won that year, but not that day.
Yep. More shots of the breakaway riders here. The gap has come down to 134. So it looks like
Seb BK is a little different. He says 1 minute 30.
Okay.
So there's always like a discrepancy. I'm not sure the reason why the discrepancy, but I would believe Seb PK in my ear right now.
And if we're looking at the speed of the breakaway versus the peloton, so the breakaway is going 22 kilometers an hour, so they are on a little bit of an uphill climb here, but the peloton is still descending because they're going 70 kilometers an hour. So major discrepancy there, but they are on different parts of the course. So
Mary Elizabeth seems to think that the peloton should have waited for Pinot. What do you think about that?
I appreciate that sentiment. I think we all love Thibaut Pinot, the GOAT man. But that would be kind of a puppy dog move,
Yeah, and the race is on. I'm gonna have to disagree with my wife here. She might lock the door when I get back home. But he's not typically when you have a yellow jersey. So they did wait on the yellow jersey earlier. at the 10K mark. It was early, but Luke Rowe and UAE's lieutenants, they both were talking to each other, and they did wait on the yellow jersey. Pino's not in the yellow jersey. Just because he's a crowd favorite doesn't mean the peloton needs to wait for him, especially because the race is on.
Yes, and I mean, as far as time goes, Thibaut Pinot is 7:47 down.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be a factor in the GC, and
he doesn't expect them to wait.
No. It would be cute, but not reasonable for them to wait on Pinot. Which that was a strange sequence where he crashed and then got hit in the face with a musette. So
what was that Trek? Come on now.
Yeah, and it looked like an EF Soigneur in their Palace shirts there helped them get back up. So, wow, interesting. Let's see. I think we got some more comments here on the Slack. Kev wants to know our thoughts on the KOM battle. Is Pog basically going to win that again? What are you thinking there?
If UAE doesn't let a lot of breaks go, then he'll naturally be up there. I don't think he really cares about that jersey, but it would be cool. Right now, though, like he definitely has a chance to get all of them. Sans the points. He does have the white jersey. I was going to say earlier, Pidcock is wearing that white jersey today, the youngest rider jersey, because you can't wear
everything.
3 jerseys. Shout out to Merckx of the 1969 tour. I think he had all of the jerseys.
Yes.
They didn't have the young rider jersey, but he would have had it.
Yep.
He was riding for FEMA team way back then, the coffee maker.
Mm-hmm. And they used to have a combination jersey. So
that's right. Yep.
Whoever was the highest on GC with the most KOM points and the most sprint points would wear the combination jersey. They've gotten rid of that. But I don't know, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Really, the best young rider, I think they need to make it a U23 jersey, because obviously now with all this youth talent, the best young riders are typically because right now it's U26. So anyone under the age of 26 is eligible for the white jersey. And
yes. Yeah, and the peloton getting so young these days. It's quite
until Pogačar ages out of that, he's going to win it. So if you could make it U23 or maybe even U21, where it's like we truly know who the best young rider is, because right now the best overall rider is the youngest. So that would be interesting to change that. But as far as KOM points, Kev, don't worry, we haven't forgot about you. Tomorrow will be a pretty climby day, so we're going to have a Cat 1 climb on Col de la Croix, and so there will be how many points on offer there? I mean, 10 points over the top, and then we're also going to have the Cat 1 climb at Pas de Morgon, which that's a long, hard climb. That'll be fun to watch tomorrow. So if somebody crests both those climbs first, there's 20 points right there. And if we're looking at the standings right now at the KOM competition, Magnus Court only has 12 points, right? So
we see a JV rider going up the road right here as the road goes uphill again. So JV is looking pretty good. They're still putting the pressure on UAE, but not. I mean, I think they should make UAE work, but obviously, if JV is leading right now at the head right here that you see, then they feel like they're pretty good with Wout today. So I think they're maybe setting up Wout. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he can go well on this climb, or semi-climb here on the finish. That would be fun to watch him. They got to be diligent about those time gaps between Vingegaard and Pogačar. Don't want to get lazy and lose a second or two if there is splits at the end. So,
are there bonus points today? I don't think so.
You mean bonus seconds?
Yeah, bonus seconds.
Yeah, there's bonus seconds on every stage finish.
Okay.
So there's 10, 6, and 4.
Should probably know that.
Yeah. 10, 6, and 4 at the end. So whoever wins the stage will get 10 extra seconds.
All right. The gap is still coming down. 1 minute 19.
Yeah, we're 25K to go. So we're definitely under that 2 minute mark. That metric for 1 minute for every 10 kilometers.
Yes.
So yeah, if they continue to press on, they're definitely going to get caught.
Yeah, I think they will here. Right around 10K. They got to catch him before the. So they're going to come. So a little bit about today's finish. A little bit more as far as turn by turn. They're going to come in by the lake flat, and then they're going to take a left. It's placed a navigation. It says on the materials here, and then they go straight uphill to Avenue de la Guerre. Take a sharp right, sharp left, sharp left. So it's pretty technical. Right there at 2,000 meters left, 2K out. You have that 2K out, sharp right-hand turn. So be looking out for that. From there, it's really steep up to the 1K left. And then after the 1K left, they got that. Okay, sorry, I'm listening to race radio. 1K left, there's a false flat to the finish, right next to the Olympic Stadium, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Olympic Stadium. I've forgotten my notes, but I think it was built for it. Maybe in the 20s they hosted the Olympic Games or 30s. So that's when that stadium was built. Now it's the home of
the Olympic headquarters. Yeah.
Yeah, Olympic.
And we'd like to apologize to everyone that speaks the French language for our mispronunciations.
Mine.
Yeah.
I take full responsibility for that. I can't say the word velodrome. So
Yeah.
that's one. But not too much from that. And it's the technical is such a or the last 2Ks are so technical. I think we're going to see a technical rider like Wout. Cross skills come into play with something, of course, with something that technical uphill. I like Wout today. I'm really thinking he might have a pretty good chance. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what can he do, right? So another interesting thing to consider is, we haven't seen anything from Matthew Van Der Poel except for that strong time trial in the first stage. And we talked about, he is hurting after that strong Giro performance. But what if maybe, he decides, just to go throw all his chips in today, try to get a stage win before he potentially DNFs in the mountains next week, Yeah. This might be his last stage win chance before he's going to really be hurting in those high mountains over the next week. So look out for Van Der Poel today.
Yeah. And just FYI, there are 3 groups on the road. Frisson, the lotto rider that was in the break, is in the
he's in between.
In the back, in the 3rd group in the back, followed by Danny Van Poppel. Danny Van Poppel's been pretty good sprinter lately. The Bora team guy. He used to be on Intermarché team, I believe, a couple of years ago. Yep. And his dad was a awesome sprinter as well. So I like him a lot. He's been doing, his first week was really good, or the first few stages rather were really good. Then you got the second peloton, or the second group is the peloton, and then you got the riders that are still 1 minute out. The two people that have been going since around, I don't know, 3K mark.
Yeah. They have been out there for about 3.5 hours by themselves.
115 miles. So they've pretty much 110 miles if they stay out by themselves. I don't know what the average is right now, but I think I heard 40K miles an hour or 40K an hour earlier. I'm not sure the conversion on that, but that's what they've been doing by themselves for 100 miles.
Speaking of the devil, Matthew Vanderpool was behind the Ineos train up there at the front, which, traditionally we haven't seen him with great positioning in the bunch. So maybe he is getting himself ready for this finale. Also
see FDJ rider, probably I would guess Gadu right there behind his larger men leading him out to that. Yeah. So he's another rider that was talked about today. So he's another rider to look out for. Wout, Pog, Gadu.
Yeah. We are in Switzerland. So Stefan Kung, he's a Swiss rider, not necessarily a sprinter, but he is a time trialist, and maybe he tries to get a little bit of a gap before the finish and make things interesting for the home fans. I don't think Mark Hershey will be a factor. Unfortunately,
that guy has fallen from a lot.
We're not seeing 2020 vintage Mark Hershey in this race. Another Swiss rider, Sylvain Dillier for Alpecin de Koenig. He'll be more working for Vanderpool or Philipsen today in the finale, but Philipsen's somebody else to look at.
Yeah, the Alpecin has to decide Philipsen or Vanderpool. Philipsen won. I'm sorry, he got second the other day. He was looking pretty good. Bettiol passed the flame to Philipsen for thinking he won. But they have to decide. What do you think? I mean, is Alpecin going to put their weight behind Vanderpool or Philipsen?
I mean, with the lack of sprints in this race, I think they need to support Philipsen in this.
And that hurts to say, probably.
Yeah.
You love some Vanderpool. Oh, let me see a combine.
Wow.
Shout out to that guy.
Nice piece of equipment there.
I hope he has that insured.
So, and maybe even Alexander Kristoff today, He's looked good this season.
Kristoff.
He's done great in the classics this season.
Old man.
He's an old man, but he's still got it. So look out for him in the finale. Maybe
as we're talking, Alpecin is on the left, right-hand side of the road.
Yeah, this gap is starting to come down pretty significantly. This long stretch of road here, they're probably going to be able to see each other potentially. It's down to a minute.
The peloton does have a headwind. So
they're not far apart. We're in the valley here with 18 kilometers to go. We'll get into the city limits of Lausanne here in a minute, and I think things are really going to start to pick up.
Yeah, they have a wind off their left shoulder right now, and I'm looking at the map right now. We're coming into the flat around the lake. We'll be seeing the lake here in a few Ks. So this is where it's going to happen. On the map, we have 6 groups. Let's see who the Lantern Rouge is. That is Jansen on Bike Exchange.
He's just fallen off after doing some hard work on the front.
And you got Frisson.
Yeah,
Baglioli.
Countess Baglioli, that's not good. I mean, they brought him instead of Mark Cavendish, which was shocking. And
that's right. Well, they couldn't have 2 sprinters.
well, he's not really a sprinter. He's more of a punchy uphill guy, but well, Jakobsen and Cavendish. But I mean, they could have 2 sprinters if they wanted, Robert.
They could, but they might literally fight each other.
Yeah. So yeah, Baggioli has not done much in this race. I mean, he goes well in kind of those punchy classics races. You would think he would do well today, but if he's falling off the back, I mean, that's a little concerning.
Yeah. Well, you got Wellens dropped too. Wellens is dropped. He's in the 3rd group. Then you got the Peloton and head of the race. So the breakaway is going to hit this industrial area. They're going to take a left about 1 kilometer. So turn left, and then they'll have that flat road. It's the Route Quintanel. So that's the road that goes into, I'm just going to say Lausanne. So y'all hit us with some questions here. As we see, 55 seconds is the break, and Grant is taking a break of himself. I might need to take a nature break of my own. Oh, they're going around that traffic island.
15K to go. I think you can make it.
JV has lost a rider in that traffic island, so a little disorganized. Gosh, that road furniture, as we say in the biz, is just wreaks some havoc. The breakaway, if you're not seeing it, they're about to take that left-hand turn here in a few moments, and hey, that's it. I mean, that's the start of the race. I think the JV and UA teams are going to start hammering here in a second.
Yeah. We'll see if we can figure out who that Jumbo Visma rider was that had trouble in that tight sector there. Pierre Latour, mechanical issues. He potentially could have done well in this finish today, but as this pace picks up, he will not factor into the finale. He's just going to try to jump back on and not lose too much time. We got some serious splits at the back of the peloton here, Robert. Lots of quick step Alpha Vinyl riders caught out.
That's right. I would say that Seb PK is in that car right there. What do you think?
I think so.
Luke Rowe at the front. He's such a Luke Rowe has said it time and time again to I don't know, Tour Talk or whatever, but he's the most valuable rider in the peloton. He's leading out the Ineos people. They're in the navy and I guess it's a red maroon color chartreuse. So 45 seconds is the gap. Seb says, and there's Lake. There's the lake.
There it is.
Gosh, it's beautiful. I've loved the scenery today. I like this area of France.
Well, it's Switzerland.
So Switzerland. Well, both.
Europe. So looking at riders that have been caught out behind the peloton, Antin Turgi, he's had a terrible Tour de France. Victor Lafay, Chris Juhl Jensen, he was working at the front. That's understandable. Michael Storer, he's had a really bad Tour de France. So
reading too many books.
Yeah. So 42 seconds. This gap is coming down rapidly.
And where is Froome? Do we know where he is? What number is he? There's a JV rider. Who's JV rider 17?
Nathan Van Hooydonk.
Okay, Hooydonk is dropped. That's not good for the lead out.
Yeah, so
he's their sprinter, dude. Speaking of sons of former pro riders.
Yeah. I don't know. The more this develops here, I really like Tom Pidcock for this finish.
Okay. EF looks good with what's his name? The EF guy that almost got yellow.
Nielsen Palace.
Palace, yes. That was a tragedy.
Yeah.
JB looks really good now though without Wait on.
Yep, Alberto Bettiol working well for Tadej Pogacar here. So we kid. But here's Van Hooydonk
Career de peloton.
pacing back on. He is not, one of their leaders, so that's not anything to worry about for them. But he is a strong lead out rider.
Yeah.
That would have done well for Wout or Vingegaard here in the finish. So
okay, they're playing cat and mouse. Remember what I was saying when the riders spread out across the road?
Yeah,
that means the pace has dropped.
So they're really jockeying for position. But
then we got JV is going right.
But we've got really a couple of strong trains here. And it looked like we got some Trek riders at the front there working for Matt. It looks like Matt Pedersen himself is at the front.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Is Quentin Simmons their guy today then?
Potentially. Quinn Simmons, you're on the right-hand side of your screen here, but he's hanging out behind the UAE riders.
Shout out to Justin Ahalt for giving him a bottle at Knoxville.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. Beautiful handoff.
So Kev wants to know if we'll see any attacks come from the peloton, individual attacks. Do you think we're going to see some riders try to make things interesting? I think Total Energy, that might be their only chance to factor in here.
Yes.
You would think they're working for Sagan, but then maybe Bergadeau, someone like that, might go out on his own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the teams might send a satellite rider up the road to try to string out the peloton again.
Yeah.
41 seconds, getting sort of close to that 10K mark. So
I think we're going to see that drop about 30 seconds very rapidly. Mikkel Berg, lead out rider for Tadej Pogacar. Looks like he has a mechanical issue. He's off the back. So with that being said, there's only
PK says 35 seconds.
Okay. So, that gap's coming down.
Ghana on the front of Ineos. He was a force yesterday, too. And right before the Planche de Belfi. They do have a headwind. So I think that's what we're seeing right here, a tired peloton. The wind is 11 kilometers an hour. I don't know. It's sort of not really much of a headwind, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, Pogacar doesn't necessarily need a lead out in this situation, but with Berg falling off the back and Stekelengen not even starting today, they're going to be down to 5 support riders for him. So,
yeah. Who is behind that Ineos? I didn't see it. You got Rowe at the front, but who are they protecting? Pog is right behind the Ineos train. That's probably a smart move. Ineos is so good.
Ineos is, that is their MO. We need to get to 3K to go. For those that don't know, the 3-kilometer mark on a sprint stage is the safety mark. So if you have a mechanical, a crash, any kind of difficulty within the last 3 kilometers, you will take the time of the lead group.
That's right.
The group that you were
It used to be longer. It used to be, I want to say 10 or not 10, less. I mean, I think it used to be 1K.
Yeah.
When I started I've been watching racing since technically since 2009. Mary Elizabeth introduced me to bike racing. And I didn't know what I was watching. I mean, I just thought they were going real slow. I didn't understand the team tactics. If anyone has any question about that, let us know. We won't pretend everyone in this audience knows what the heck is going on. But yeah, I've been watching since then. I'm pretty sure it was at the 1K mark originally. And again, that's just to protect the GC men and the integrity of the race, really, right?
Yeah. So things are heating up here. We're getting closer to half a minute on the break. And we've got a strong Jumbo-Visma train for Wout van Aert. Ineos protecting their leaders. I still think Pidcock could factor into the finish here. Looks like Nairo Quintana there moving up in the middle of the bunch.
Yep. Yeah, he's been having a good tour so far. The little man.
Not necessarily a huge GC threat, but he really has factored in to the front of the races. So we'll see what happens there. Looks like Luke Durbridge has been dropped as well. He's back there with Bjerg and Nathan Van Hooydonk, which they've been doing a lot of work for Matthews today. So makes sense.
Fred Wright by himself now at 30 seconds. 7.9K, 30 seconds. So what do you think? I'd say around the 2K mark.
Yeah.
They're going to get them. The breakaway is coming up to a big roundabout. So that means the battle for position in the next roundabout is going to happen here in a second. They're going to take a right turn around it. It's a big sweeping right turn.
Yeah. Fred Wright has just passed through there, and it's about to get a lot more technical. So we're on the Avenue de Rodeny, and there's going to be a sharp left turn as we run in towards the lake here. So they'll take that left turn onto one of the city streets, a right turn, and then 2 hard left turns again before we get to that final little uphill finish towards the Stade Olympique. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting here.
Quinn
has fallen back. So
Alpecin looking great here, guys. It's Vanderpool or Philip Philipsen.
Yeah.
I think Philipsen might be in the win though. So
yeah,
Vanderpool might be their guy. We'll have to see.
Yep. Down to less than 30 seconds now for Fred Wright. So he is all but doomed. But man, yeah, Alpecin does look strong. They've got numbers.
We got Taka. Oh, Vanderpool's second man. Okay.
Vanderpool is second. Philipsen is the protected rider. It looks like, oof, Mads Pedersen off the back. He will not factor into this finish today.
AG2R out of nowhere.
So yeah, they might.
Ben O'Connor maybe looking.
No, I mean,
I don't know where he is.
Poor Ben O'Connor. He's had some crashes. He's had some difficulties in this race. Looks like Oliver Nelson is working at the front here, and I mean, it might not be steep enough for Cosnefroid, but I don't know.
Cosnefroid is a just gutsy rider.
Yeah,
I love some Cosnefroid. Yeah, Vanderpool
has
amazing.
He's doing.
Caleb is leading out for some reason. He's telling his teammate, get up.
And Gilbert has fallen off there. He's like, dude, get in front of me. You're supposed to be working for me.
Yeah. Ewan looking good, although he's in the wind. Phillipson looking good.
Man, with this technical nature here, I just don't know about Caleb Ewan. You know.
We look at Vanderpool doing so much work. How many watts is he doing right now? I'd like to know. Big left-hand turn going up the hill. This is the start.
Yeah. So this is going to be the last 5.2 kilometers. This is the climb, and it's going to have a 4.5% average. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's not a super steep climb, but there's going to be some 7 and 8% ramps here and there.
Yes.
So.
I think my feed that I'm looking at is a little ahead of the Peloton, or we're behind on the video.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to max out at 12%. So,
let me see if we're behind. Okay.
Vanderpool has dropped off. His work is done. Philipsen is clearly the rider here today. I mean, you hate to see it for Vanderpool, but here we have Arkea Samsic going for a little flyer here. Okay. And AG2R following. Pogačar will not let them go. Pogačar wants this stage win.
Okay, we're on time. The feed is a little bit in front of it.
Pogača, wow, he's chasing this down on his own. And we've got, it looks like it might be Berto following. And yeah, Pogača's going to control this.
Look at this. Pogača he's going to try to win today again.
Yep.
This guy, the boy Prince. Shout out to John Anderson. He's going to try to do it again. It's just amazing. Micah is right behind the EF guy to try to help out if he needs any help. Who is that Total Energies dude?
I could not see his number. I want to say it's Berto, but not sure.
Okay, we're almost coming together here.
It could be Alexi Villamose. I think it might be Alexi Villamose.
Okay.
Looks like Bettiol is at the front again there. Here comes Bora. What if Leonard Kamna tried to avenge his loss yesterday?
As we see a train in Switzerland, those are synonymous. Lots of trains in Switzerland.
Yes. Fred Wright, curtains. Great effort today, but it wasn't meant to be. Chris Froome has been dropped. Magnus Kort has been dropped. Stefan Kung and Jakob Fuglsang have also been dropped from the peloton.
Is that Kamna or Schachmann up front?
Looks like Kamna.
Okay.
Kamna is going again after being out in the breakaway yesterday.
No, does not surprise me. I was telling Mary Elizabeth last night, Kamna, this dude, he intentionally loses ground on the GC battle so he can try to win stages. It's not a lot of people do that, but he's really good at it. His recovery is just amazing day to day.
Yeah.
And Pogačar, Wout is back there behind him, taking an eye what's going on. But Pogačar, he's looking great again. He's just gonna use all his energy every single day. Apparently, he doesn't care about 2 weeks that are left.
Yeah, Bakamala off the back. Rest in peace, Kev. Sorry.
Bakamala is it's an actual name, but he's really good at these climbs. That surprises me. Punchy.
Not today. Wow. We've still got Bora pushing at the front here.
Van Gogh right behind Pogs.
Mm-hmm.
So, I call him Jonas right there behind Pog. I call him Van Gogh. But Micah is leading out Pog again. Micah is such a valuable rider.
Kamna's fallen off. He did the work there. I think he's really just trying to get Vlash off to that 3 kilometer mark, which he did successfully. So looks like Mike Woods. Is that him behind Wout van Aert there?
Yes, it is. That is.
Woods, Vlasov, and we've still got Rafael Micah. Is that Micah?
Yeah, it is. Should be. Yes, George Bennett is dropped out of the back.
Here comes a flyer out the side there from Lotto Soudal. That'll get covered pretty quickly.
That's right. So I'm really just liking Pog right here. He's looking well rested. Jonas is going to try to. Jonas, I don't see him beating Pog in this.
No,
this
but I do see Wout van Aert beating Pogača.
Yes.
So,
and a lot of people would like that. I would like to see Wout win again.
Yes,
but should have loved Pog.
Yeah, he's been quite greedy with these stage finishes, and I mean, if you can do it, why not?
And again, it's just such a different. If you were in a time capsule and you were watching SkyTrain with Froome several years ago, and then all of a sudden you started seeing the yellow jersey try to win every single day, it's atypical.
Yeah. So we've got Pogača, which seems to be doing a lot of work here at the front. And we've got Wout Van Aert and Michael Matthews right on his wheel. So Matthews, Van Aert. We've got Tom Pidcock here in the white jersey. He looks like he will factor into this finish. So Pidcock, Van Aert, Matthews, all contesting this against Pogačar.
Sepkus is dropped.
Yeah, McNulty and Micah are still working at the front for Pogačar. They will be his lead out. He will not be able to do rock, paper, scissors today for the finish.
No.
But he will factor into the finish.
1.3K.
You know, with the amount of work that he's doing here and Pidcock, Matthews, Van Aert, all these folks sitting on his wheel, I don't know if Pogačar is going to take the stage win today. Podium. But really, I like Van Aert for this. I think Pidcock will factor in. He has beaten Van Aert in a sprint before. So they're really hitting the steeper ramps here as we get closer to the finish. We're inside 1K to go. Pogačar still working with his lead out riders here. And we're going to start to see some attacks. Vingegaard going on the right here.
Jonas he's looking pretty good.
Yeah. Geraint Thomas is still factoring in here. Enric Mas is still here. Vlasov still holding on. Michael Woods' wheel. So, yeah, these are our GC guys here. This is not going to be a straight-up sprint. So
it seems like every day it's a GC sprint, even on a stage like today.
What if – I mean, Michael Woods, he's just not a fast finisher compared to these other folks, but –
I feel like he used to be a lot faster.
Yeah. Still holding on here. Guillaume Martin on the left side.
Quintana. Steel-faced.
Micah is the last man in here for today. Pogačar. We are 500 meters to go as we go to the finish here in Lausanne at the Stade Olympique. Guillaume Martin working on the side here. Vingegaard riding closely to Pogačar's wheel. They will be neck and neck towards the finish here. Van Aert still getting a good lead out.
Van Aert standing up.
All right, here we go. Michael Matthews, he's there. Pidcock there. Bob Youngle's on the left side here.
Well, it's about to go.
A little cagey here. And here comes the sprint. Michael Matthews leading it out. Guillaume Martin still at the front.
Well, it's looking great. Well, it's looking really good.
Here comes Michael Matthews. He opens up the sprint. Pogačar follows. Van Aert follows. Michael Matthews. He's still looking. Here comes Van Aert. Van Aert all day.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. It was a Sunday morning ride for Wild at the end there. Congrats. Chapeau.
So Van Aert takes it ahead of, it looked like today, Pogačar. And potentially Michael Matthews there. We'll see if he picked him at the line. Still waiting for that official top three. That was an exciting finish there.
Right.
And a lot of GC action. We still had some sprinters there, but exciting to see Wout Van Aert get another stage win. Exciting to see someone beat today Pogačar. All right, here's the overhead shot here. Micah was the last one to lead out. Guillaume Martin coming out on the right. The Cofidis rider, Michael Matthews in the middle. Guillaume Martin really went for it at the end there. I don't know.
I think my mic says reconnecting.
Yeah, does that say Bob? Is that Bob Youngles for Aju Zuair? I think it is. So Matthews, Pogačar, Van Aert pips him at the line, so it looks like it was Van Aert, Matthews, Pogačar. Caleb Ewan potentially in fourth.
Yes. Pa got some bonus points again for second. Right?
He would have gotten 4 seconds for third place, and as well as points. So
where did Pidcock end up? Kev asked.
It looked like he was top 5, but we're still waiting for final results. But in the points classification, Wout van Aert is going to get another 30 points at the top of that. Michael Matthews will get a decent 25
Michael
points.
Matthews, man, that dude has almost been winning for years now. And then here we see him at the line.
Yeah, let's see what does Michael have to say here.
Last time, it's been like this 2 days ago. I waited too long, but yeah, maybe I went too early this time, but no. I think Wout was just amazing out there today. I did my best. The team rode a great race, delivered me where I needed to be, and I mean, second again. Hopefully, I'm not going to the outdoor with that win.
Chances like these, there's only a few more. How do you beat these guys? I mean, I thought you did everything right today. I don't think you jumped too early. I thought it was at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I saw there's around 200 to go. It looked like a lot of guys, Tade and Wout were boxing left a little bit. So I was hoping I'd get a bit of a jump. But yeah, just wasn't quick enough. Really good.
Yep, so Wout van Aert takes the win. He takes the points. He will add another 30 points to his classification in the green jersey. Looks like he's got it all but locked up if he can hang on for the next couple of weeks. Pogačar, of course, stays in yellow. No changes in the KOM classification today. But with the two big climbs tomorrow, that jersey should change hands.
Yeah.
So another exciting day of racing, and this was fun, Robert.
Yeah, it was quite. And the rundown on the top 5
Okay.
is Wout van Aert, Matthews, Pogačar, Andreas Kron. So that must have been the Lotto Soudal rider.
Yep.
And then you got Alberto Bettiol. Then you got Vlasov,
In 6th.
Thomas of Cofidis, Van Gogh, Youngles, Pidcock. So Pidcock, 10th place.
Wow, what a finish for Bob Youngles. I mean, we have not seen him at the front of the race in a long time.
In a very long time since since he won Liège Bastogne.
Yeah.
Liège a few years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now we're back in the studio.
Yep. So that was fun. Signing off. Thanks for listening, guys. And
Let's talk about tomorrow. How about that? So it's a lumpy stage, 193 kilometers. You got 4 categorized climbs, ending in Châtel-les-Portes de Soleil. So that's my best of my French language, but yeah, it's another stage that sort of echoes what happened today. It's on the Swiss border, where the finish is, rather. And yeah, we'll see another day in the mountains tomorrow, through the valleys, really. So after that, stage 10 echoes another lumpy day. So it's going to be a couple more days. If you didn't win today, Matthews, Vanderpool, Philipsen, Ewan, they got some more chances tomorrow.
They will not factor in tomorrow. Those are Cat 1 climbs.
Oh, that's right.
But
you never know with Ewan, though. He's been doing some training. I wouldn't count him out. Bradley Wiggins. This dude.
Yeah. All right. So appreciate everyone listening, and we'll see you on the road.
Yes, sir. Thanks, everyone.